And this is WAWL, Chattanooga State's The Wall, and you are listening to HonkSec Radio. And of course, I'm your hostess with the mostest, your cyberpunk anarchist, Harley Quinn. It is now 5 o'clock on the dot. Well, probably, I don't know. Time is not my best friend. But anyway, we have our interview going on right now. So we are fortunate and honored to welcome in a guest onto the show. This is sl3dge from the CounterSurveil Podcast. And I want to welcome you onto the show, sl3dge. How are you doing today?
Epic. Thanks for having me. Honor, pleasure, the usual.
The honor is just as much mine as it is yours. You've had me on your show for like a couple of shows now, and I already feel that honor just being part of your show and having you on mine. So that's really, the honor is mine.
Mutual respect.
So, starting out today, let's talk a little bit about you for a second. Tell me about yourself, how you got into cybersecurity, how you got into technology in general, and where you see yourself in the future.
Well, I'm sl3dge. About me, I consider myself to be a born and bred redneck. And yes, there's a difference between redneck and hillbilly. We can have that conversation later. But I grew up super blue collar, underground coal mining, built 5 houses from the ground up, everything from concrete to electricity to the framing. I did all of it. And then I got my journeyman's license. I drove semi trucks for a steel yard for a while, and basically this all wraps up into blue collar dude that started a band. So I started a band in Colorado in high school, and that got a bit out of hand, and it kind of exploded because we were in Northwest Colorado. I think it was Northwest, whatever. It was the Four Corners area. So we were this small ass town in the middle of nowhere. The closest Walmart was 4.5 hours away. And bands would be touring across the country and go from Salt Lake City to Denver. And when my band started getting a bit of traction around it, I started going the live audio direction for like live audio production kind of stuff. So we started, let's do a show at the rodeo, the barnyard, or the courthouse, or a random church or something. And then that started to become a thing. So bands would pass through and go to Denver, and they'd make a couple bucks, and we'd had some big bands, like literally sleep in my living room. Like, it was so cool. But where I'm getting with that is we ended up playing a festival, getting into a festival. And before that, we had a Battle of the Bands in Denver. So the Battle of the Bands in Denver, we made it to the finals. And we were sitting in my buddy's room, and there happened to be a guy there that was an artist. And we needed artwork for the upcoming show at the festival. And we were about to release an album as well. So we wanted artwork and album art and all this. And this dude's like, yeah, you can have access to all of this stuff I've done over the years. And he hacks into the neighbor's Wi-Fi. And I asked him, I was like, what was that? And he said the terms network security. And I never heard of such a thing before. But that's kind of like a book note right there. That dude said network security. So we go to the festival and whatever. And then a few months go by, my brother / guitarist passed away. So I'm sitting here like, now I'm the single child and I'm tired of almost dying in the coal mine every day. And we finally got internet out at my house, which was 10 miles north of town towards Utah. And I Googled network security. And I found 2 colleges. Some Mormon one in Wisconsin, and then University of Advancing Technology in Phoenix. Or Tempe, technically. So I ended up going to that one. And to backtrack a little bit, when my brother died, the dude that gave me his artwork, I had no idea who he was. And I got some of his art tattooed on my leg. So when I went to meet and greet with the professors at the college, I was wearing shorts. And one of the professors saw the art on my leg. And he was like, yo, that's artwork from Eddie Mize. How the hell? So it turns out that guy that randomly got me into network security was one of the dudes from the DEF CON Goon band back in the day. And then my professor was one of the guys that helped build DEF CON. I'm going to just call him out. Russ Rogers. Shout out to that guy. And now everything just started spiraling out of control. Just eat, sleep, live, breathe security. So basically I got a job. Well, not a job, but like, hey, you want to work for Black Hat kind of thing? So sure. Started working for Black Hat one year. And then halfway through that year, I think that was 2009, Russ comes up to me and he's like, you want to be a DEF CON goon? And I was like, sure. So I've been gooning. This will be my 16th year, I believe. So 7 years Black Hat, 16 DEF CON. But how I got into this was the college and starting a hacker group that is now known as Cactus Con. Well, I can't say I started it, but we were all kind of part of it. It was like 6 or 8 of us. But we started out as just a handful of kids, I guess, in the back room. There was some drama. There were some stories behind all that, but it ended up becoming kind of like a BSides thing at Dave & Buster's. But then it grew so big that now it's the Phoenix Convention Center. So like, oh man, it's cool. So every time I go back there, it's like saying hi to old friends all day. But
yeah, that's amazing.
Good times. But I was at DEF CON one year, just talking shop at the bar, and some random dude just comes out of nowhere. He's like, hey, you want a job? And I was like, okay. So next thing I know, I'm moving to Atlanta to work for IBM. So I was an analyst there, and then a senior analyst, and then a threat analyst, and then a threat hunter, and then a senior threat hunter, and then, life happens. Now I'm a senior penetration tester for, 3 companies now. Currently 1, and then I have my own on the side, Desert Rain Security. And I think that wraps it up, other than in the meantime, I ride BMX and have a music studio in my house and play drums.
That's amazing. That is truly awesome. And it sounds like you've lived a long life as a hacker out there in the West Coast before you came all the way down here to the East Coast.
Life is finally kind of chill-ish.
Imagine just being. I won't lie. You kind of almost remind me of Johnny Silverhand from Cyberpunk 2077, going from just a small town rock star in Colorado to being this awesome hacker of Atlanta with a huge tower, a huge antenna tower in your backyard.
Oh yeah, I had to explain that one away the other day when the inspector showed up. There's a caveat in the HOA covenant saying, as long as what's on the top of it is for TV, it's cool.
Oh my
So
goodness.
I'm abusing that one. I can go up 40 more feet.
Now, how did you get into ham radio?
My grandpa was World War II, and he's what got my entire family into it, basically. So he set records back in the day for the longest HF transmission. Like, he was one of the first to like start bouncing signals off the moon and talking to China and all that. So he had a ham shack in his house, and I would stay at his place for a couple weeks every year for, I guess, spring break, if you want, or for lack of a better term, call it spring break, because I was homeschooled at the time. So I'd sit there in his ham shack, eat grandma's cookies. R.I.P. Grandma, she passed away last month.
So sorry.
But we'd always just sit there and watch him and listen to him just work the airwaves. And it was so interesting because we would be building our own radios at the same time. So like, I learned ham radio and how to solder and electrical components and all this stuff all at the same time. And my dad had his ham radio license because he was in the Army too, or Air Force. Then my mom got hers, and basically everyone in my family has their ham license. So I was the next one on the list. So I got mine. And I originally picked one that was my dad's first old vanity call sign. And then I heard this story around like a Thanksgiving dinner type of situation where they disclosed that he had an old call sign that really made my mom angry because it was N0BRA. And he had it on his license plate and stickers and all over the place. And it made her mad because they were engaged at the time. So she made him change it to something else. And when I found that out, I went and checked the ARRL, and it was like, oh, dude, that call sign's available. So I yoinked it just to make my mom mad.
Oh my goodness. That's some crazy times there, man. So I also understand that you were also a student at Kennesaw State University. Can you tell me a little bit about that experience?
I actually was not a student.
Oh,
That's actually a point I skipped over. So the hacking group that I was mentioning from University of Advancing Technology in Phoenix, I kind of took that idea to KSU. So I just randomly went to a BSides when I first moved here, trying to make friends, didn't know anybody. And I started talking to one of the guys that was doing the reg desk, so registration at the front. And we hit it off. We were friends, and we just started talking. And over time, we were like, dude, we should start something at KSU. So it was me, but him. He was the proxy, basically. So basically, communications went from me to Andy Green and all the professors, and we got all the stuff lined up. And next thing we know, it's the, what do they call it now? The KSU Cybersecurity Research Group or something. They wouldn't let us do a cool name. So that's how that happened. And now I've been doing BSides and working with KSU for the last, 10 years. So every now and then I'm working with CCDC as like red team judge or red team in general and helping with their mock competitions and stuff.
So in addition to gooning at DEF CON, you're also gooning at BSides and KSU.
Yeah. And that's a good little opportunity to say, hey, NaCl Con is going on May 31st through June 2nd. North Carolina.
Heck yeah. And I was actually just talking about that hacker convention just a couple of weeks ago. NaCl Con. Y'all should definitely check it out.
Yeah, it's an understatement to say this, but it's a privilege to be on the board of organizers for that because I am so stoked. This conference is all about like bringing the history back and bringing that old hacker stuff back to where we, don't forget your roots. And
yes,
we just finalized the speaker list last night, and it's fire.
Oh, I can't wait to hear all about it. I won't lie. I honestly wish I could go to NaCl Con, but alas, I'm going to be in Europe that whole 3 weeks.
And if anybody's listening, it's spelled NaCl Con. And if you haven't caught on by now, that's the chemical, what you call it, for salt. So we pronounce it SaltCon.
I love that. That's a really clever name for a hacker convention.
And the logo, if you go to the nacl.com or whatever, the logo has the boxes of the chemical groups, and then they changed the actual number to 2000 and 25 or 26. So it's NaCl 2026, but it looks like the periodic table. It's so sweet.
That is really clever. Honestly, I was ready to call it like sodium chloride con until you just brought up salt con.
I mean, either way, close enough.
So tell me how you got started with the CounterSurveil podcast.
Honestly, I don't remember. I think I met Havoc at DEF CON one year. And I probably gave him a business card and probably was, yeah. Me and Havoc both have LLCs. We were talking about merging. And then I said, hey, because I tried a podcast 10 years ago and just got lazy and stopped doing it. And then he said, oh, I have a podcast. Let's just do that together. And here we are. 61 episodes as of last night.
Wow, that's amazing. And how long have y'all been doing these 61 episodes of CounterSurveil?
A little over a year and a half, maybe 2 years.
Not bad. That's not bad at all. I'm quite happy with the success y'all been having with the podcast. Honestly, that's, it takes a lot to build a successful podcast when you hit like 50, you got something.
And to be fair, we kind of had a cheat code because we've been streaming to 2 accounts. Yes. We're using Adrian Crenshaw's account, Iron Geek, which that gets us all the views, but we're also streaming to our own account, and people are starting to figure out that there's a difference. So more people are starting to go from Iron Geek's account to our channel. So we're going to see how that works because it's kind of a mess right now on how we're organizing the episodes.
Oh my god, yeah, I would imagine so. Streaming on multiple channels like that, yeah, that is a mess. Like, I know of another podcaster, isn't a cybersecurity podcaster, but he would have his show broadcasting on multiple accounts, and some of them are like accounts belonging to his co-hosts even.
Yeah.
So I would imagine, but all of these episodes seem to be simulcast on each of those channels.
Yeah, I mean, StreamYard's dope.
It really is. Like, I need to get into using StreamYard, but the pricing on it is kind of ridiculous right now.
Yeah, I think it doubled.
Yes, it definitely did double.
But we would pay like a year at a time. So the annual subscription saves you like 40% or something.
Not bad, not bad. So, in your cybersecurity career, what would be the biggest thing you've ever accomplished within your career that you can legally talk about? Like, nothing that I don't want to hear anything that requires a high security clearance. It's something that you can, that's actually TLC clear.
No client names. So, my first day ever of being a penetration tester, I was assigned a physical pen test engagement. So I had to fly out to, Virginia. And let's call the company, pick a random word. Okay, we're trying to break into Wallet. And Wallet is the 6th floor of a big building.
Mm-hmm.
So we already walked in, did the actual normal penetration test, but then they wanted the physicals. So we go back and basically kind of make ourselves look different, and nobody recognized us anyways, so it wasn't a big deal. But we had to social engineer our way into the place. So we walk up to the security guards, hand them a box of donuts, introduce ourselves, say what's up, make sure they recognize us and that we're friendly. And we tell them, oh, yeah, we're working for this Wallet on the sixth floor. So they know we're supposed to be there at that point. And from there, we were riding up the elevator for like 4 hours, cloning people's cards. And, like brush against them and distract. And the other guy with the reader would go and rub up against his card and all that kind of stuff. And after all that, we went back to the hotel, got the computer chooching on the recorded data, went to dinner and had some wine and yada yada, and go back to the hotel, print out all the cards and ready to go. And then we roll up to the target and notice that the light is still on level 6. So we call the contact and he says, oh yeah, that's the skeleton crew we forgot to tell you about that we just hired like the previous week.
Oh gosh.
And we were like, okay, no big deal. We got this. So we just straight up walk in. The cards work. Everything worked. We're just in the building, in the office. Nobody even looks at us. So I had what's that thing called? The land turtle from Hack 5. And we found the CEO's desk because there was a picture of him and his family next to one of the computers on a table. And we correlated that with the CEO on LinkedIn. So I used his iPhone charger that was sitting there to plug in the land turtle and stuck it under the table. And that called out to my C2 server that I was SSH to on my phone. So I was like, yep, we're good. Everything's owned. We can leave now. And then on the way out, they had a snack table. And I've got this backpack. So obviously I'm going to stuff my backpack full of snacks. That's when people started to look at us and question us. So we were like,
Goodness.
stuffing my bag full of chips and stuff. And everybody's walking up to us and we're like, go, 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 go. But on our way out, we left a business card on the CEO's desk. And during the debrief, the CEO came in just laughing his ass off. And he was like, that business card you left? Good touch, boys. I used to work in the military discarding old armaments. So he would just blow stuff up and then leave his business card. He thought that was the coolest thing.
That is absolutely hilarious.
It's like mic drop.
I love that. That's a really, really epic hack. Now, since you were doing like physical penetration testing, did it also involve any kind of lock picking in addition to social engineering?
Depends on if you think access cards is lock picking or not, but no actual physical lock picking on the field yet. I've done a lot in practice, but not in the field.
Interesting. And what would you say would be your favorite episode of CounterSurveil out of the ones that you've done?
The one with Moloch, the guy that wrote Sliver, the C2.
Oh yeah. Was it that like from like a couple of months ago?
It was late last year. But
Okay.
I went to college with him, and that group that I was talking about, he was also a part of, as along with I Am Redshift and all F4, all these other guys that are huge now. Like that was basically a breeding ground for, dude, I don't even, 5 companies stemmed from that.
That is pretty epic, dude.
Good times.
Oh, still the best times, man. Still the best times. But let's be honest, we're hackers. Our best times have yet to come. They're still on their way.
Gotta hack your way into it.
Yep. We absolutely do need to hack our ways into it. I mean, look at me. I'm literally going to college here and trying to build my way to make it to DEF CON and chilling with y'all. I mean, that's going to be a lot of fun. Although, won't lie, I'm thinking of going to Freaknik for the month of November. So hopefully we'll all kind of chillax and hang out then also.
I think CrowdStrike is going to be there. My focus is right now SaltCon.
Yeah.
So I can't miss that. So that's kind of priority number one. We'll see about all the others.
Yeah, SaltCon's got to be big. I mean, you've got Dual Core performing at SaltCon. How awesome is that?
And then there's certain guests that, I guess it's public now. I should look at that list. There's some big names coming to speak. Some of them are like on the opposite side of the world right now, trying to arrange plane tickets.
Oh my God. That is awesome, dude. Do you have any names of any of them that you want to publicly talk about, that you can publicly talk about?
I am trying to find the link so I'm not pulling anything out of my behind. Wherever it went. Well, if you go to naclcon.com/speakers, it's all public now.
Heck yeah.
Lee Felsenstein. I forget what his handle is, but a lot of the people that we are sitting on the shoulders of. So, like, you know, that old saying, standing on the shoulders of giants. These are those giants.
Mm-hmm.
And then Chris with Loft, Heavy Industries. Oh, man. This is going to be awesome.
Yes, it is.
Mark G. Hardy, Richard Thiem, Jacob Shaib, Andrew Brandt. Oh, and Heidi and Bruce Potter. That's going to be a good one, too.
Heck yeah. That is amazing. So, lots of amazing stuff going on at SlT3dge, or NaCl Con as it's officially known as. I want to go ahead and ask one more question for you, Sledge, before we move on with the rest of the program. Have you ever been successful in hacking the Gibson?
You would have to define Gibson.
I knew that was gonna come up. I mean, hacking the Gibson guitars can be a good start. This has been a fun time. Sledge, thank you so much for being on the show. It's a big honor having you on, and being on your show likewise. And we need to do these shows together again more often, perhaps real soon.
If you saw our last one, we got pancaked for the first time.
Oh my God, you got pancaked.
Shout out to Pancake.
So what's the whole pancake? Like I've seen a little bit of the show, but I don't know the whole pancake deal.
He lives in the dark, and by referencing him as Pancake, nobody knows who he is, because that's not even the handle he goes by. That's some random word he picked just to hop on the show. I was like, dude, you should just jump in and troll us. So I gave him
That's the way you do it right there.
And he's a master of impressions and impromptu comedy. So he just pops in and starts telling this story about how pancake sticking to the pan is equivalent to having good disaster recovery plans.
Epic, dude. Totally epic. So when is the next show you're going to be doing? Like, obviously we're recording this like a week ahead. Are y'all still going to be keep doing this like every Wednesday? Do you have a Discord server that you would like to also promote? Anything else that you want to promote?
We try every Wednesday at 7. The website is CounterSurveil.net. My company is DesertRainSecurity.com, and yeah, CounterSurveil.net I think has all our information. So think of that as like a link tree.
Heck yeah. And yeah, it's been a great honor. Sledge from CounterSurveil, folks. And if you happen to have any music from your band or anything from those old days that you would like for me to play, we'll go ahead and play them.
Funny story about that. Let's go down a rabbit hole for a minute. So, in my band days, there was a guy in town that happened to be one of the guys that recorded Bad Brains back in the day. And he had a whole reel-to-reel studio at his house. And we paid him, I don't know, $300-400 to record us. But unbeknownst to me, he was going through divorce at the time. So he took all the tracks, smashed them together, and handed me a CD and skipped town. And what that means is guitar tracks for one song are put over the drums for another song, and it's all gobbledygook. So we've got an AI clinker right now going through it, trying to fix everything.
Well, here's hoping it all gets resolved and you can actually get some of that music released.
Yeah, a lot of people have been asking me for that in the last few weeks.
I don't blame them. I would imagine you coming out with some really rockin' tunes.
Well, we changed the rules in that side of Colorado because we did Battle of the Bands at the high school, which we have video and audio of. But we finished our set, and the crowd was going nuts, screaming for an encore, right? And the lady that was hosting it says, "Okay, encore. You guys want to do an encore?" And in the video, you can see my vocalist come over to me and ask me, he's like, "Do we want to do an encore?" And I was like, "Okay." This being the drummer in a metal band, that's a lot of work.
Yes.
So we did an encore, and the next thing you know, there's 150 kids moshing in a high school. Like, you see a cowboy hat flying onto the stage. There's a bra and a pair of boxers.
Oh my gosh.
And then halfway through, a teacher comes onto the stage telling everybody to stop because this one dude crowd surfed.
Oh my gosh.
So
Too epic, dude.
everybody missed their bus that day. Like, next year, they said if that ever happens again, they're going to pull the plug on us. So we had generators in the back to where if they cut the power, we'd still keep going.
Oh my gosh. There's some ideas for those of you participating in the Chat State Talent Show.
Good times.
The best times. Well,
All right.
anyway, slides from CounterSurveil, everyone. We're gonna be right back with more with my sign off. This is WAWL, Chattanooga State's The Wall. I'm Harley Quinn. Hack the planet.
Thank you. Peace.